a nice weekend for you. Went up to Minot, got 2 wins there. And
yeah, I mean, anytime you can go on the road and get 2 wins on someone else's floor back-to-back nights, I'm not going to lie to you, it's not like I've been through that before. You know, we won on Saturday night, didn't play particularly well, but kind of gutted one out, which, you know, I told our guys 6 weeks ago that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You know, we would have waited for something bad to happen, and instead we found a way to gut one out. And then, you know, Friday night after the game, I'm looking at my assistant, so, okay, what do I tell them now? Hey, we got to do this all over again tomorrow night. And we had a practice the next day, short one, about 40 minutes, shoot around. Made 3 or 4 very minor adjustments and came out and played much better on Saturday night, and got 2 wins, especially on the road. We were what, 1-6 on the road going into that game, so it was important for our team to see that they can be successful on the road if they do the things we ask them to do.
Well, I was just going to ask you, I mean, back-to-back games against the same team, it's not something that you see in even high school, let alone college. Did you go back and look at the tape that night and break things down, look it over a little bit?
Oh yeah, and we would do that either way, but you know, we wanted to see where we got hurt. I mean, you have a pretty good idea watching the game from the sidelines, but we want to make sure on some things. They threw maybe 2 or 3 things at us that we hadn't seen on film, so we made sure we walked through those the next day. We threw a thing or 2 at them the second night that we held back on purpose to you know, just try to see if we couldn't sneak a few easy baskets. But yeah, I mean, outside of the NBA, or you know, maybe calling Coach McCone over at the Skyforce when those teams from far away come in and they go back to back, I mean, you're kind of just trying to figure it out, and we're gonna have to do it again. That's the crazy part.
That's, I mean, you'll know their personnel about as well as you'll know yours by the end of it.
Yeah, you know, and the negative thing for us in that is just we run a system. You know, the triangle. You know, they started to figure it out, and they started to cheat some things that we took advantage of because our guys have seen how people try to cheat things. But and it was you know, and then they're running a little bit more of a motion, kind of do their own thing, where we don't. Just because we played them the night before doesn't mean we know what's coming the next night. Where with us, by the time we get to the last 4th or 5th possible game with them, we're going to have to change the name of every play call we have.
Well, Coach, like we said last week, it was a little bit of a homecoming for you. You got to go back to one of your alma maters and play in that gym again and see some people that you knew before. What was that like for you personally? Yeah,
and I don't want to say you're wrong, but I certainly don't want to be accused of going to Minot State. I just coached there.
I thought you did your GA there.
No. That was over at Mankato. But
well, sorry.
No, exactly. I'm just kidding. In case anybody from Minot State thinking that was a joke. No, you know, it was good. I spent 3 years up there. Kind of got my start in coaching up there, really as a full-time recruiter and doing all the stuff you need to do as the main assistant. And the athletic director is still the same up there. Their assistant coach actually played for me when I was up there, so he didn't have any problems with the play calls. But it was good to see some people. It was really good to win 2 games and see some people, you know. And I hate to sound so shallow about that, but I mean, it's a lot more fun to talk to people that you worked with or knew well when you were up there after your team finds a way to win 2 in that gym. And so it was good to see them. I don't care to drive 9 hours on a bus anytime soon to go back up there, but it was good. You know, I also Coach T worked there as well, so we, you know, and Coach Kading's from North Dakota. Brian Kilpinski's from Bismarck. I mean, so we had a lot of ties that were really important weekend for us.
Well, Coach, you talked about the atmosphere up there has always been fun. What was it like going up there playing back-to-back nights in front of the same crowd?
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, they had a much better crowd the first night. The crowd was very sparse the second night. The first night had a decent crowd. They tried to get behind their team. I mean, Minot came back and tied it up with 2 minutes left. And then we came back and scored. Well, let me rephrase that. Skyler came back and scored 6 straight and kind of put the game back to where we needed it. But it wasn't a daunting atmosphere as far as a crowd. It's just you're playing in this huge arena. Our guys have played for 5 straight weeks in a small gym at the Stewart Center. So I was really worried about our ability to make shots. And quite honestly, our shooting percentage looked great on the weekend because we got the ball to the block and to block, and that helped. But we didn't make very many open jump shots all weekend. So hopefully, if we can get those same shots against that Minot team later, we can knock those shots down and hopefully play well again here at the Stewart Center at the end of the month.
You went up to Minot, got a couple wins, and this is a team that doesn't have a great record. Minot State, they're 3 and 17 now, and you went up there on a nice little momentum swing going. You've now won 11 of your last 12 games. Yeah, you just keep out rebounding teams. Your guys are really playing well. But you talked about, you knew going into this these would be 2 tough games. How do you feel your team has grown after this weekend coming back?
Yeah, we knew they would be tough because I'm sure they used the same rallying cry that we did, that we're both going into the Northern Sun.
Right.
These are league games. I mean, you got to find that extra motivation when you can. And the fact that we had been rolling a little bit. And that team, I'm telling you, it's better than a lot of teams that we've beaten with a lot better records. Right. It's just that they're literally done at home now. They played 4 games at home all year. And their schedule was just brutal. 2 of them, right. Really good Division II teams on the road. And so, you know, I think we grew in the fact that we went up there, we had a goal. It wasn't easy. You know, that first night we just really didn't play well. And you do have to, honestly, I have to give them a lot of credit. They took us out of our offense better than probably anybody has. Yeah. And part of that was because of our mentality, and we didn't play through their physicalness and some other things. But when we really needed it, we executed for about 5 minutes that game. Yeah. But we were really, really good that 5 minutes. And then the next night we showed up and we executed pretty much all but 5 minutes, where we got an 18 to 20, I think it was 20-point lead in the middle of the second half, and our guys thought, well, this game's over. And they brought it back down to 10. And, you know, we called a timeout and went right back to 18.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just overall, I felt like we had a better demeanor about what we were trying to get accomplished, rather than, you know, early in the year we were just trying to play good basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, it really wasn't any deeper than that. It wasn't, well, we want to win this game, we want to win these many games, we want to win at home, we want to win on the road. We just wanted to play well. Mm-hmm. And now, you know, we've gotten to the point where we can put a little bit more stock into certain very in-your-face goals, you know, of being undefeated at home, winning, you know, our last 9 or whatever, you know, and if you lose 1, then you want to win 8, and if you lose 2, you want to win 7, but they're able to handle those expectations now, where at the beginning of the year, they were so far off, it wasn't even really realistic to think about.
Well, Coach, you were talking about not executing great. There was a point in the second half where you really had a chance to kind of take over in the first game on Friday night. Mm-hmm. About 10 minutes left, I believe you guys were up 1, and for 4 minutes they didn't score, but you guys only converted 1 field goal. As a coach, when you see their guys, I mean, clearly they're playing good defense, but when you see the guys struggling to execute, what kind of adjustments do you work on making, or what kind of things do you say to guys in the huddle?
Yeah, I mean, the positive thing is exactly what you said. You know, that we didn't let them get away when we couldn't score.
Right.
You know, and really what we're trying to do is find a way to get an easy bucket, get the ball where we want it. You know, right now with this team, find a way to get Skyler a touch where he can finish and play. And it's not an overall lack of execution. It's the details. You know, we talk about details all the time. I mean, my guys are probably mocking me as they're listening to this, because that's all we talk about right now. At the beginning of the year, it was big things.
Right.
I think we talked about this last week, and now we've kind of plateaued into, we're starting to get sloppy with the details and the little things, and we just talk about you have to respect those things, or it's going to come back to bite you sometime. And it almost did on Friday, and then we respected those things a lot more on Saturday, and we're going to keep grinding on those little things, just angles and timing and all those little things, because the basics, we're never going to be perfect. You know, as a coach, I want them to be, but they're still going to make mistakes. But they're not mistakes because they don't know now. They're mistakes because we're human and we make physical mistakes at times.
Well, I mean, I know we've kept harping on it, but Skyler Block, another great weekend for him. He goes 23 and 24 points. The second game he shot 8 for 10, went 2 from 3 from 3-point, and then 6 for 6 from the free throw line. His efficiency is just outstanding, and it's something you've talked about, but talk a little more.
He was 19 of 27 on the weekend or something like that. He was 9 for 14 and 8 for 12. I'm not very good at math. You guys can figure that out. But he was 26. He was pretty good. And we got him the ball where we wanted to, even though they really threw 3-4 guys at him and tried to keep it out of there. but we made some adjustments, and guys did execute that part of our game plan, getting Skylar the ball, and then he's playing at a high level. You know, we give him a hard time in practice in the locker room right now because, you know, Zim's doing articles about him, and this TV station wants to come interview him. But you know what? He's earned all of that, and I don't think he's still getting enough credit. I think he's playing that well. I wouldn't trade him for anybody we've played against at that position. Man, he's been really good, and he's the heartbeat of our team. It's his team. There's no questions about whose team it is. And he deserves it. Anytime anybody asks me a question, I'm not going to complain about talking about it because I'm so proud of the kid.
Well, he's had, I think, 7 20-point efforts so far this year, a couple double-doubles.
And you saw that coming, right?
Oh, yeah, right? I mean...
yeah, about as much as Coach did.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to go for that. Kudos, Skylar, you have made us all put our foot in our mouth. Coach, one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about was your triangle offense, and it's something that's been in basketball for a long time, clearly made the most famous by Phil Jackson, won 10 championships and all that using the triangle, but really, kind of as he left the NBA, it's now a bit of a dying offense there. How did you learn it, and why did you want to start using it as your system?
Well, it really started to die off when Tex Winter kind of went away because he's the one that, you know, Phil gets all the credit. Reality is Tex Winter was the one that came up with all of it. But
Phil's kind of his last disciple, really.
Right, and they run it differently at the NBA level than we get into it. It's because they have a 24-second shot clock, we have a 35, and we don't need to get any deeper than that. But really, you know, my first year up at Minot State, I was working for Mike Holtz, the former coach up there. And we wanted to go to something that nobody else did. And so we kind of stole pieces of Tex Winter's triangle. We stole pieces of our next opponent, Gary Garner, who was at Drake and at Southeast Missouri State at the time. His triangle, and Westminster College out of Salt Lake was running the triangle a different way. And what we did is we took all the pieces and said, okay, we like this option out of this one the best, this one, this one, this one. And really I learned it from Coach Holtz up there. And I've tweaked a lot of it. We don't run a very similar to what he did in a lot of ways, but it's the same basic concepts. I just believe in it. I mean, that's who we are. That's what I believe in. That's what I'll be good with, and that's what I'll go down with. I mean, I believe in it. Our kids believe in it. Sometimes it takes our new guys longer than others to believe in it, but they see what we're trying to get accomplished once they understand it. They really like the freedom that it gives them in it, but it also has a little bit of structure. When I need somebody taking a shot from a certain spot, it's easier for me to dictate that.
Do the kids take well to it?
Yeah, because all I have to say is Michael Jordan said it was good enough. And if you don't, I mean, you're not Michael. I mean, I say that as a smart aleck, but it's the truth. I mean, the reality is a lot of players that are making a lot of money have been pretty successful within that system. And so I don't claim that we have any of those guys or that I'm as smart as Tex Winter. I'm certainly not. He's forgotten more about the triangle than I'll ever know. But the reality is when we run it right, we're a pretty hard team to guard as far as what our system is, that's for sure.
You know, it's such a complicated system. I mean, the general concepts, I suppose, are easy enough for people to kind of grasp. But once you really start getting into how to use it effectively, is that, I mean, with college kids, is that something that, I don't even hardly know what I'm looking for. Are these kids, like, is it hard to get them to buy into that system? Is it hard to get them to learn the different parts of it? What's the biggest challenge?
It really depends. Each kid is so different. You know, Dave Maxwell stepped in the second day of practice, had it down.
And understood it, yeah.
You know, other guys, and I'm not saying this, he would agree, it took Ronell Grant a semester, and then when he figured it out, boy, he was really good for us. And so it just, some guys it takes a year. You know, everyone gets better as they're in it longer. And so if you have juniors and seniors, they can sometimes cover up the fact that your freshmen don't know where they're going. But they figured out, it's not that they don't want to learn, it's just that it is complicated. And it's why we, quite honestly, have struggled a little bit early in years and why we've always played our best basketball at the end of the year, which is still how I think it's supposed to be. But we do need to tweak some things in our preseason stuff to make sure that we're not having such a lag early in the year. Especially, like this year, there was no way around it. Too many new guys, there was nothing we were going to do, and we tried everything to try to get us up to speed. But we do need to tweak some things. We need to get off to better starts. but I love, how my teams in the past have played at the end of the year, and hopefully this team can continue that trend.